Hey guys, what's up? It's Randall. Impromptu show today. Andrew is not available, so I'm just doing a quick interview with Truth. Truth,
Right,
we never talked. This is the first time we've ever talked before.
right. Usually
So
just chat.
yeah, we're in this WhatsApp group where we talk about vibe coding, and Truth has, I think, beaten me for the person who spends or who has hit the Claude Code max the most. I don't think I think you not like I haven't hit it in like a couple days or weeks or something, and you said you hit it in like an hour and a half, so it's pretty impressive.
I feel like they're doing something and it's not me, but it's probably me.
I
And
think
I
it's
was
both.
surprised.
Yeah, because they this used to be. I mean, they're limited, right? So they used to have more capacity.
Right.
So it's a lot crazier than it used to be. But I think like it's still you're still doing some non-traditional things, I guess we could say.
Right. Right.
What's I guess first of all, like what are you actually vibe coding on? Are you vibe coding on your startup or just a side project, or like what do you do most of the time for this?
I I treat it like a side project because the business works on its own, but and it has a standalone, digital um work around or software, mostly internal software that kind of runs everything automated. So now this is making it really, a software solution, um, complete software solution, both
Yeah,
back and front end. Right now, it's all back end and everything is automated for the parents, but they
yeah,
don't have any front end. Text message is the interface that they use right now.
yeah.
So switching that.
What's the actual product called?
It's called Buggy.
Buggy, like Buggy. What's the site?
Yeah,
Just so people can go check it out if they
BUGGY.
need. Is it buggy.com or something cooler? Just kidding.
Yeah, it's buggy.com, but it's 99Y is the BU99Y.
Oh, got it. That's fun. All right, cool. So you can check that out. It's like reliable transportation for kids to get to and from school or to like camps or whatever. So traditionally, this was a thing. You guys set up the drivers, and you did this a text message. You said, and now you're moving. So it's not just like a back end technology thing, but it's also this like front end app people can use, right?
Exactly.
And are you the only developer, or like have other people? Are you working with other people on this project
I'm
for the
working
front
with
end?
another developer that's working part time, and
Cool.
he's right now he's kind of doing his own project, and then we're doing this together. His project is called Voltio, and it's basically a DocuSign competitor.
Got it. And so you guys are working together on this like front end thing, but it sounds like vibe coding is sort of the meat and potatoes of like what you're doing.
Definitely. We were slowly, just coding it together as a side project, focusing on our main project. But then once vibe coding became a thing, it made it possible to just do this, full time while still
Yeah.
working on the project. For
And to be
me in
clear, like
particular,
go ahead, sorry.
I work on a school, I work on school schedule. So right now I have more time, right? Because school's
Yeah.
out. So that makes coding mostly what I do when it's the summertime for another like 3 weeks or so.
So when you guys you have one other developer, it seems to be clear, like we say vibe coding, but we mean something kind of different because we're not just like going to Replit and like YOLO, give me an app that's like a CRM for whatever. We're trying to build like production applications that are like serious with like actual authentication, actual databases. Like we're trying to make like a real business, just with
Correct.
like us not doing the code work. Have you worked in
Right.
any other like big companies before or anything like this? Like what's your background before this?
Yeah. Before this, I worked on Wall Street. So I worked
Got
for
it.
Deutsche Bank on Wall Street after I left Colombia, and then from there I've worked on other startups that I've sold, and now I'm working on this
How are we not hanging out? I didn't realize you were in New York, man. Like, how have we not hung out yet? We'll have to hang out next week.
Yeah, we have to
When I'm
next.
back.
Yeah.
I have an office now, so you can swing by the
Oh,
office and we can like
oh,
vibe
yeah.
code
Let me know
together.
for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I,
we'll do that.
I feel like right now, vibe coding in person could like take things to the next
Oh,
level. But
dude, we're gonna do some crazy stuff. Okay, so you're hitting the max like in an hour and a half. You told me on the
yeah,
chat. Like how? So uh, I was doing this originally with like I had like one terminal and like 3 or 4 windows
mhm,
open at a time, and then I would just be like shipping. Like I would basically just be having it YOLO like random stuff. Like go build me a front end that does this. Go build me a back end that does
right,
this. Like
right.
what's your sort of approach? I've changed my approach, which we'll talk about, but now I don't hit the code limits as much. Like, what do you think is causing you to hit these limits, and what's your kind of general approach?
Okay, so the what is causing me to let me start with my general approach. So I generally use 4 terminals at a time, and then once in a while I might get up to like 8 if I'm trying to solve like just component problems. I'll just pull up another terminal while the main ones are doing what I want to focus on. There's always something that you need to implement on the side that I do on the side terminals. What I think has caused me to go um, to hit the max more now is that I'm always in YOLO mode. So I'm always in bypass permissions. I started that about a week ago. And I don't see a point of not being in bypass. It was very scary in the beginning. So I was like, I'm never going to use that. And I just try to like reduce permissions. And then, from seeing people in the chat talking about it and curious about it, I was like, what, let me just give it a shot. And I
Yeah, that's
ended up
awesome.
finding out that there's no reason not to because you could turn it off while you're doing it.
Oh,
And that was,
really? I didn't know you could do that.
yeah,
How,
yeah.
is it like one of those like
Shift
shift
tab,
like tab
shift
things?
tab, yeah, exactly.
Sweet.
So you
Then
can really
obviously I'm just
shift
gonna.
tab out of it. So it's like,
Oh,
why wouldn't I just always come in in this
exactly.
mode and
I'm
just so what I do
totally
is I come on into the bypass mode and I shift tab out of it immediately. And
sweet. I
then
didn't know that.
I'm working, and if I get to a point where I'm like, okay, it keeps asking me for like silly permissions and I don't want to like write another hook, I just turn it on and kind of like pay more attention to the screen where I am in bypass mode. And if I see like it's going off the rails or whatever, I'll turn it off and like start
Bring it
chatting.
back.
Yeah.
Totally. That's awesome. So are you doing this in 4 sessions at the same time, or are you doing this like more kind of specific, or like how are you, how much freedom do you give it, and then like how often are you checking in on it?
So it's rare that I'll have my 4 main terminals in YOLO mode at the same time. It has happened, but it's rare. I would probably call that like being in like vibe nirvana, where everything just seems to be going well, and we're just like in the zone, and all 4
Yep.
are like bypass mode. Everyone's happy. So that's rare, but that's the only time. Other than that, I'm focusing on the one that is in bypass mode, and the rest I'm kind of just giving permissions,
Yeah.
as needed.
Can we talk about your date?
Yeah.
You said you got slapped on a date because you were vibe coding. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so my partner, she's from New York, born and raised, and it's always strict dating with with when you're on dinner with her grandma, it's like old school, etiquette, which it's like I grew up on that too, but every once in a while, especially like right now, I'm just my mind is just like spinning too much. So I had the phone out, and at first she was just thinking, maybe because we were on the road, she just thinking maybe I was just checking in on things. Eventually, she realized I was coding, and she's like, "What are you doing? You're not supposed to be having, electronics at
Do you
dinner."
think it?
We
Do you
always
think
have
it's
like
worse to like?
electronic free dinners, so that's like common in our house. Even like when we're doing like Shabbat on Fridays, it's always electronic.
Yeah.
Our kids know it, but so I knew better.
Do you think that if you were do you think it'd be worse if you were like texting a friend, or do you think it'd be worse if you were coding?
um, I think it would be worse if I was coding, because I think like with a friend, she would think it must be important enough that I'm actually, choosing to do it. But with code, she's like, what are you doing? Why can't this,
Get this
non-living
weight.
thing wait?
Totally. Yeah. Okay. So you end up having these things up. So how are you using your phone when you're interfacing with this stuff? Like how do you have the ability to get slapped?
So it's, at first it was hard trying to use my phone to vibe code, but what I realized is that it's so much easier if I, remote into my Mac, and my Mac is doing all the processing. So that's basically what I do. I set up the screen and then remote into my Mac, and I'm just giving instructions, and it's just smooth. It's just text message going through to it. So it's caused me to now do it more and more often and much easier. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'm YOLOing, on my phone, so I have to
Do
really
you
pay attention.
use Screens 5 for that, I'm assuming?
I'm using
Okay.
Termius, and tail scale,
Got
and
it.
Tmux.
Oh, so you're just like so you just set up your Tmux setup and then you're just going like remote in terminals and just like going nuts.
Yeah. So the only thing I'm doing different is like you would Termius in, but what I do is I set up a screen R, with just
Yeah.
with a script that shoots, that allows me to like return to that same screen.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's much easier.
I think you can do that with Eternal Terminal too, for what it's worth. I haven't done Eternal
Yes, you
Terminal in a
can.
minute, but yeah, like that was a thing I did like when I used to work at Facebook and I had to like be on the bus or whatever. I would do some of that stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, so what is your biggest bottleneck today?
The biggest bottleneck is not being able to get it to understand what I want,
How are you
easily.
trying to do that? How are you trying to do that?
So I
I
go
guess like
through.
how do you start a project? Let's start there. Like, you're like, okay, I want to add dark mode. Like,
Mhm.
I want to add dark mode to my app. Like, what is your like instinct? What are the prompts you do? What is the process you do?
So usually I'll just, when I want to do a new feature, I would just go in and turn on plan mode and say, hey, add this feature. It's still so new that I sometimes don't give it a full markdown script, which is what I would do. But lately I've moved away from giving it a full markdown script with everything as detailed. And I would just ask it something somewhat simple, maybe 3 lines, and see where it goes, because there's a lot in my code base now that I feel like it could start to handle some of that. So,
That's
in
a
the
really
code
good point.
MD, there is, a lot of instructions on what to do first. So like one of the things that, before the AI could do anything, it has to make sure that it acknowledges it's not going to change my network settings, because that's something they like changing often. So it has to acknowledge it's not going to change my settings, and then it's going to say that it's going to make sure any task it's working on, I know what task it is working on. And there's 3 of them. What's the third one? The third one is that it will do minimum research before, and after it's done it will make sure to test before saying, hey, this thing is production ready, which is like its go-to.
Have you like wait, so has it changed your network settings?
Mm-hmm. All the time. Not every day. It still does it. Even now, it still does it.
What is it?
I
Why is
think
it
it's
trying to, why is it doing that?
because I'm working multiple agents, multiple Max agents at the same time, so they run into each other. Like one might, try to reset the server or something like that,
Oh,
or
and they'll be like, oh, the like host is down, so I have to like make
exactly.
sure like the Ethernet's working or whatever.
Correct. Correct. So it thinks like, oh, this thing is down. It thinks it's the only one working on it. So it's like, oh, this thing is down. So I must have the wrong settings, or I must, it first tries
Oh.
to restart it. And when that doesn't work, then it's like, let me change the settings. Um, so it does that. And I'm like, and I see you know, because I have like I'm still using like the old basic terminal, and I see it go from like red to blue. and I see like the network code, out of the corner of my eyes. I'm like, no, stop that.
Oh man, please stop. That's so funny.
And all different hooks trying to stop it, but it just seems like nothing really fully stops it.
That's so funny. I have a solve for you, so that's good news for you. I have a lot of stuff that will be
So that's a big
pretty
one.
badass for you. Cool. What else is so like? You start the project, you're like, don't edit my network settings. Like the fact you have to say that at all is just like hilarious to me. It's like, hey, like seriously, don't change my IP address. Don't take random network interfaces down. Like whatever. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm like, wait 30 seconds. And it does the wait 30 seconds. And that seemed to have reduced the amount of time it changes the network. But every once in a while, there's too many things going on. 3 of them are fighting for network reset at the same time.
Didn't you tell me once that they shit talk each other sometimes?
Yeah, they do.
I had to start shit talking me the other day, where it was like I had stopped it during something, and it's like, why did you stop me? And I was like, because I'm doing stuff, and it's like, well, if you hadn't stopped me, you would have seen I was doing this. And I was like, it's kind of snippy, like Claude. What do you see when it's like talking about the other agents? What does it say?
So one earlier today, it was moving task.md over, and it was like, this agent didn't really finish his work. I need to deprecate this folder. So I am moving the work to this other folder. Tell this agent to like stop work in the new folder, because it's like now I'm going to implement all these things to prevent him from like lying about his work or something like that. And I was just like, wow, okay.
So you have like vibe code agent fight club.
Yeah, they go back and forth. Seriously, they go back and forth all the time, and they can.
That's
see
so
it. And
funny.
the other time, actually, before that, we were having this agent keeps, because I wanted to. There's sometimes where I have a script that kind of gives me a summary of what they've gone after, like every 1,000 output. It would just give me a quick summary of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was an agent that kind of rewrote that and started pushing it into every screen. So it would be like, I might be working on a parent dashboard and working on a driver dashboard and working on, just general review. And it would just pop it into every screen. So the agent working on parent dashboard is like, oh, I guess
I should work on that now. That's so funny.
So we have to like stop that and isolate everything again and separate all their workspace.
How often are you? So you're hitting the limit. Like, is it like literally every day you hit it after an hour and a half now?
I'm hitting it now. The last 2 days, especially, I'm hitting it so often that I just like had to find a workaround. Before, I would hit it when like, okay, I've been working for a while, I'm kind of getting tired. I can go do something else. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll wait 2 hours.
Yeah.
But now it's like I'm hitting it, and then I come back, from a break, and then within like an hour and a half, I'm hitting again. I'm like, I'm not ready to stop working.
Yeah. So I have that. I have an O3 subscription. I have I basically subscribe to everything because I want to know like how it all works. Mm-hmm. And when I was doing this before, my headphone just fell out. When I was doing this before, I used to hit limits like in like ChatGPT and stuff. Like I would be like in like regular Claude, and I would hit like limits and stuff. And then when Claude Code came out, I immediately hit the $100 limit like within an hour and a half or something.
Right.
And then I did the $200. I hadn't been hitting it very often. I think I've only hit it maybe like 2 or 3 times. So your usage is just like another level of insane, and I think that's pretty awesome.
Are you hitting? Are you using Opus or are you using Sonnet? Opus?
Yeah, like if it gives me the flag where it's like you're gonna hit the limit, I'm switching to Sonnet. I'm like, no, you're not. I'm using Opus. Like, I'm not using Sonnet.
So I have it on 50% Opus, and then it switches to Sonnet. And the Opus part, I hit so quickly, much, much faster than what the Sonnet is. So I don't know. Even like every time that I start working, it's like I start working and boom, oh, you've hit your Opus limit, I'm switching it over. And then I can then work for another like 2.5 hours without getting like shut off completely. So I'm like, why did that just happen in the first like 45 minutes?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's all this like scaling issues they're having. It's like, they're scaling like crazy, rightfully so. The product's really good.
Oh yeah,
It's just
really
a,
good.
it's just a preview of like what's going to happen. Like everyone's going to be these like hyperscalers. It's going to get crazy real fast.
Right.
Okay, so if you had a magic
Also, we'll
wand,
probably hit a
go ahead.
point
Go
where
ahead.
all of these apps, all of these workarounds that we're doing, and we've seen some of it. They would learn from that and implement it as default, which would then means all those who don't know what they're doing will be more efficient, and the whole system would work better.
But it's Jevons
Obviously, like,
paradox. It's Jevons paradox because every
yeah,
time you do that, it's gonna like introduce like everyone's like, oh my gosh, now I want to use like 10 more of these or
right,
whatever.
right.
So it's just like classic, like, oh crap, it's gonna
We'll
really get
solve it, and then
crazy.
people find new ways to like just ramp up whatever extra
Exactly, capacity and stuff.
capacity. Right.
Okay, so if you had a magic wand and you could have anything and you were able to fix any problem with your setup, like what would be the thing you would fix right now?
What I would fix is, ideally, the ideal setup I would want is to have like a stand up with my agent in the morning, and then like in the evening just come back and see what they have done and talk to them, and to get like a sense of what I want to change, and then next morning do a stand up and tell them what to do, and not have
Yeah,
to like sit there and babysit them the whole time.
cool. So I think I've got that figured out. I'll show you actually like the version I have of it that's like getting close. I don't think it's there yet, but it's getting close. Um, okay, so you want the thing that
Yeah,
I'm
I think
actually
it's
making, which is
possible because
cool. Good news for you.
I see people talking about it, online, and I'm like, wow, that would be nice. There people are like, oh, I just set up this thing to like go build my company, and now I'm working on this other company, and then I'm now working on this fourth company or whatever, fourth app. I'm like, okay, that's great.
Yeah. I mean,
How do
for
you
me,
do it?
like I want to have, I mean, the thing I'm building is so big that it will take up all of my mind share for such a long time. But then I
Right.
actually have I have one idea that's even bigger that like I literally couldn't do until AI existed, which is like
Mhm.
I figured out a way to change the internet fundamentally in like a completely crazy way.
Right.
Um, anyway, I don't want to talk about that now because it's
Yeah.
such a deep topic. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to show you my setup really quick, just because
Okay.
like I think it's
That
going to help. I think it's going to help you. Um, Not necessarily that I think you're like behind, obviously, because you are definitely ahead.
I am
All
definitely
right,
behind.
oh, you're fine.
Definitely
All right, so I'm
behind.
going to do. Oh, let me set up my desk pad really quick so I don't share my whole screen accidentally. All right, screen two. Saru. Great. All right, I got to do. There we go. Cool. So that's my screen. All right, let's see what's over there. Nothing right now. Let's put this. There it goes. Cool. All right, I'm going to bring all of my windows that I have open right now, and I'm going to show you them all. So right now I'm on vacation in Connecticut.
Mhm.
Well, on vacation, air quotes. My sister's here in Connecticut, and we're hanging out. And we're
Awesome.
going to go to like a Red Sox game and a bunch of other stuff. But like we're in a crucial period right now where we want to launch like a bunch of stuff,
Mhm.
and we're not quite in a position to do that yet, just because like we're a little bit behind. So like actually, let me open one more thing too, and I'll show you one more thing. Sapling. Oh, I gotta open it this way. Hold on. SL web dash app. All right, there we go. So I don't use Git because I'm a psycho who doesn't like Git at all. I use this thing called Sapling, which we use at Facebook, or I used to use at Facebook when I worked there.
Is it
Let
good?
me
Is it better?
close this. It is like I can't even describe how much I hate Git, and like Sapling is like just infinitely better. Anyway, okay, so today I've done a couple things. These are sort of I haven't shipped them because they have test failures or format failures or something.
Mhm.
But like, so this is the diff I was working on. Sorry, I'm just gonna say all these like things that sound like I work at Facebook still. So this is the stuff I was working on today. Sorry, there we go. All right, cool. So this is stuff I was working on today, and I was like, I want to build a bunch of stuff. So I actually built 8 plans. It looks like
Mhm.
I did 8 plans today, which is no, I did 6 because one of them was just a move. This is in the wrong spot.
Right.
So for our launch, we're actually just going to use SQLite, and I was like, is that going to be shitty? Like, I'm a little bit worried, whatever. So I just did a quick SQLite analysis. We're switching our site over from one setup to another. So I wanted to make sure that like we're doing this migration. So I set that up. This is the actual MVP of the product that I'm building out.
Why are you migrating to a different site? Just
It's like so doesn't matter. It's just like we're switching from one host to another, and then we're switching from one setup to another because the setup that I had pre-vibe coding isn't fast enough, like in terms of like velocity. So I'm basically just like re-optimizing my hosting infrastructure for velocity because now that's actually a bottleneck. So one of the things we have to do is like I have to get assets up because we don't currently have a way to get assets up. Anyway, it's a whole thing. So these are, and then this is the thing you'll be most interested in. So today I figured out, not today, but I've been thinking about this idea of like, how do I make it so that my assistants don't collide while they're working? And how do I make it so that like, I can just do what you said, right? I want to have stand up in the morning and then I want to just go away and I just want to do stuff, right? So these are the 6 plans that I worked on today, and you can go read them. Actually, there's 2 more because of course there is. This one is, I'm setting up Discord notifications when our shit deploys. And then this is I have to redo our environment variables because of this velocity thing. So like all of this stuff is necessary to get to the next step, which I know it doesn't seem like it, but it is. Okay. So what I do now, I'll just like start from scratch as if I was starting a thing today. So what I'll do right now is I'll do Claude. And if I knew about the disable thing, I would have done that in the past. But I just do Claude, and then I have this command called questions one at a time. And literally all it says is like, I need to figure out what I'm working on. Ask me questions one at a time so we can get on the same page. And then it'll just be like, what do you want to work on? And I'll be like, okay, cool. So the next thing we'll do is like, I'll just be like, okay, I want to work on this thing, whatever. So in this case, like,
I'm almost here. Earlier today, I was thinking like, and I believe I even gave one of my agents a prompt and say, before you start, ask me a few questions.
Yeah, so questions one at a time is my go-to every single time. I always start, and there's actually a technological reason why. Because if you think about it, your goal initially is to build out, like we talk about context engineering, right? So your goal is to build out context for the agents so they can do their job. But not only is it that, this is the interesting part, is like, okay, so you're building out context so that the agent can do its job, but also you also need to have the context in a way that the assistant will understand, like the right order, right? So questions one at a time does this interesting thing where you invert the power to the agent to be able to like ask you the questions that it needs to know to do the next thing. So like I'll be like, I'm working on RLHF MD, something like that. It's like simple RLHF something. Yeah. And I need to get it going to the next phase. Can you look at the appendix and use Max subagents to research all the files and links that I mention? You should use at least 15. Boom. So what it's going to do right now, so because it's still in questions one at a time mode, but it's going to take this directive and it's going to actually go like crawl. So I already gave it the file. Because I already gave it the file, it already got that in the context. So now it's looking at the bottom. Oh shit, it didn't. It's cheating. It's not going to do it. Oh no, maybe it's starting to. No, I don't think it's going to. If I actually waited a tick and I was like, read this, what is in the appendix? And then I was like, go use Max subagents to go run that. It actually would do like all 15. But right now it's cheating. And it's just like, okay, I'm just going to do like one at a time, which is fine. So then while this is going, so I do when I'm on my laptop, I just have like all these spaces up and you can see like there's like a shit ton of them. And they all like, each of them has the same setup.
What are you using to do that? That saves time from having multiple
Yeah, this is just Ghost. So I'm just using, this is Mac OS, like
Oh,
the
okay.
like just like the full screen. These are just like Mac OS full screens. And
Oh,
then
okay.
so the thing that I do on each one, you should actually, you should text the chat because I'm dropping some knowledge bombs people might care about. All right, so what I'll do, like someone asked me last week, they're like, "What editor do you use?" And I was like, "None." Like I don't use an editor. What I actually use is Typora. So Typora is a Markdown editor,
Mm-hmm.
and all of my setups, I do this. This is a little bit busted, but I have the left side be Claude Code and the right side be the implementation plan of like whatever I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know why this is paused, but it'll go figure it out. So like this is the CodeBot container thing I was talking about. We'll talk about that more in a sec. All right, so back to the first thing. Where's the first one? This one. Okay, so I'm just gonna cheat and just be like, okay, cool. Can you open the implementation plan in Typora? Oh, I meant to say open. I usually say use macOS open. Actually, we'll just do that because I know it works better. Can you use macOS open to show me the doc? So then this will pop the implementation plan we've just been working on. Implementation memo. That's my other pro tip. Call them memos because it will make it way
Oh
less
yeah, I
confusing.
saw you. You mentioned that. I haven't gotten to try that.
Yeah, you say mep because it'll when you say plan, it thinks about the internal tooling of Claude, which is like planning and stuff. When you say memo, it's like, okay, that's something different. Like I'm not gonna like try to use my internal tools to do that, right?
Right.
So
That's
so this is the thing, and I used to have a format that I would tell it to follow, and now I don't care. I just like let it do whatever it wants, and it usually picks this format because I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones and whatever.
now it's firing
Um,
up with the taxes, all the agents.
what's that?
I say it's firing up multiple agents now.
Yeah. So this is like so these are actually separate sessions. I'm just gonna let this keep going. So then what I'll do is I'll look through this and okay, so this is me resuming something. Because I'm resuming it, I'm going to look through this and I'm going to be like, okay, is there anything in here that I disagree with? And if I see a single line that I disagree with, I immediately go say, hey, this is wrong. Like, let's try to figure out how to fix this. And it'll say like, and then it'll ask me like why it's wrong or whatever, and then it'll go update it. These are my two most pro tips that I've just started doing very recently. I don't even have commands for them yet because I just figured them out. Can you look at the doc and tell me if it's internally consistent? So this will like make the LLM actually consider if all the sections go together.
Right.
And it actually does a really good job of this, which is cool. And so like it just found that these inconsistency issues exist.
Really good.
Okay, so let's figure out how to solve these. You can update the obvious ones, but let's talk about the specifics one at a time so we can get on the same page. I usually say that so we can get on the same page just because it like did something for me once and now it's just like a habit that I just like assume does something.
Yeah.
All right, so it's gonna fix all the obvious stuff, which is like, okay, that needs to get fixed for whatever reason. Oh, it's decided that needs is the wrong word to use and missing is the right word to use. It's a very important distinction. Just kidding.
Right.
All right, so now it's looking at the complex inconsistencies and says demo content creation is missing, but they mark it complete. So I think right now we have it so the demo creates it during the login, current viewer, establishment, and we don't use after create. I think that's something we don't use anymore. All right, I'm going to make this bigger because realize no one can probably see this at home. All right. So now it's going to go and it's going to say, let's go make sure this is happening. Got it. So it happens during current viewer, whatever. Can you use Max sub agents to find out? A lot of times I'll just tell it to do that. And then it'll just like search the code base and it'll like find out the real status so that it stops asking me questions that it can find out the answers to. And it probably is only going to give you one because it really isn't that parallelizable of a task. But okay,
Right.
so
You have to like talk to it a very specific way, and it's not what you're used to, when you're talking to an engineer.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you have to talk to like an engineer who's like incredibly fast but incredibly inexperienced.
Yep.
Like it's so weird. Okay, so I'm gonna let this go. So what I normally do is that I have all my like tabs open, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like when something's going and doing, I just like page through each of them, and I'll just be like, okay, what's happening with this one?
Right.
Cool. So I'm fixing my configuration thing. Yeah, we definitely want that. Cool. And then I also do like auto accept. I always do auto accept for plan updates, and then for actual coding, I typically don't. Just because I haven't like, I've had worse results when I'm doing actual work that I care about. Let's see. Let's try to scan service accounts data securely. Let's see. We're going to have separate vaults, and then during deploy, we should have GitHub Actions insert the single environment variable, and then during boot up or post deploy, they can pull down the keys. Cool. I hate when my window size changes because now I'm like, it's like cutting off the side, Anyway. Okay, so let's see. So what's this one? Oh, this is the real one that I had earlier. This is the.
You don't have any other agents working with, like any other
Not yet, because I don't. No, not yet, because I want. There's. I had done that in the past, and like last week I experimented with Codex again. I just texted the group like literally like right before we started talking. Let me find that link.
Right. So
it's called like root something or something.
Right.
Repo prompt. So I just heard about this like just barely, and I haven't even looked into it yet. But the idea is that like you can organize the context of your assistants. And like it's an MCP server that lets you talk to multiple things at once. And then the example that I thought that was most interesting is I think this is a O3 Claude interaction. So you can basically have like O3 sucks at tool calling. I think it's pretty universally accepted. And Claude Code is insanely great at tool calling. So as a result, like it's really cool if Claude can do the actual like engineering, but O3 can be like its manager, you know? And I think this repo prompt is going to let us do that. I don't know for sure, but I've just seen people talk about this.
Try it out.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous because I hate layering in tools that cost money because I'm a developer, obviously. And like, I'm nervous that like I hate giving up control. So those are the trade-offs that I'm always thinking about. But I do think there's something here. I think that there's something interesting, and it's like $15 a month or $150 a year or something. So it's like probably worth trying. Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure this is continued. It's a separate vault. We have 3: CI, dev, and prod. That's a really dumb question. Weird. Okay, so this is what I was doing.
Does it keep prompting you with questions as you go along?
Yeah, that's why I say ask me one question at a time. Because if you don't say one at a time, it'll just dump like 10 questions, and then it'll never ask you a question again. Right? If you say questions one at a time, it'll drop each question as it's coming up, and then it's pretty good about being like, okay, I have enough information to go do this. Like it doesn't seem like it like I mean, sometimes I'll be like, okay, seriously, stop asking me questions. But most of the time, it's pretty good about being like, okay, I have enough info to keep going. All right, so this is the thing. So this was the thing I was doing before we started the podcast. And oh, you can't release. Oh yeah. So this is the same thing I just started to show you. So I started a fresh Claude session, and I said, go look at this thing, and then look at all the files and links. Go gather as much context as you can. You should use at least 15 subagents. It actually did all the subagents that time, right? And then it went through and found all this stuff. So then it got to the point where it's like, okay, I found out about all this stuff. Back end's done, front end's whatever. So, like, the other thing I'll do is be like, do you have any questions? And then usually it'll dump like 5 questions at me, and then I'll be like, ask me them one at a time.
Right. Then you gotta like attach the one at a time thing again.
Yeah. So I usually wanted to pre-ask the questions, because if you do the one at a time thing too early, it seems to like follow the thread of the one question and forget about all the other questions it might have.
Yes. It loses context for sure.
Yeah. So that's why I do this, where it's like, okay, I have all these actual questions, and then I'll be like, actually, I just do that, and it'll like.
This is why I also will pop up a new terminal to work on something small. Because if I say, hey, if we've discovered something while we're building a feature, and I'm like, okay, yeah, let's work on that. And then it doesn't want to be back to it. And I'm like, okay, we're working on something else.
I mean, you'll see in my Typora, I always have 2 windows, because the first one is the actual implementation plan, and the second is me just taking notes. Right? That's like generally what I do. All right, so I want to make sure I understand what's your primary objective. We want to get the interface going. That's the main goal. Okay, I don't care about you right now. I want to talk about this, because this is the thing I think you're actually going to be excited about. So, macOS 26 Tahoe. It's like the new version that has the glassy look, whatever.
Right.
They added this virtualization framework. Well, they added the virtualization framework forever ago, but it's called Container macOS. So you go look at this. It's like it's just like a tool for running containers. It's just like Docker, but it doesn't use Docker. Uses a kernel per thing, or uses, I don't remember. Somehow it's like more resource intensive, and this uses it's just like simpler, and it runs like macOS native, right?
So it's basically a Docker competitor.
Kind of, but it's more like Docker is really hard to optimize, and they're really slow.
Right.
So it's more like Apple's just like, okay, Docker's cool, but you guys suck at implementing this on Apple, so we're just going to do it, right? So like the main thing that I like about it is that you can it spins up like sub-second, right? So you can spin up a container as long as the container is built. You can be like, new container, go, right? Wow. So what I'm doing is like scoping out this idea of like, so I have my own task runner because I'm me, and of course I do. It's called BFT, and BFT is just bolt foundry tasks, right? And it does all this stuff. Right. I have reasons why I like having my own task runner that are unimportant. But the thing I'm going to start building out is CodeBot. So it's going to be like BFT CodeBot, and rather than dropping into Claude Code, I'm going to run this script that's going to start a new container and then drop into Claude Code in the new container.
In the new container.
Right? Yeah, so it'll copy all the code. The code will be isolated so that they won't argue with each other. And more to the point, like, because they're not going to collide with each other and argue with each other, I feel more comfortable being like full YOLO mode. Just like go figure it out, Yeah,
I've seen people use Docker to isolate it and just go crazy, which you're doing the same thing, but again, a little more streamlined, or I guess lightweight with the new.
Yeah, because I honestly, like, I'm so opinionated about everything, which is like good for me and the world, I guess, but annoying for people I work with. Yeah. So like my expectation is that during the startup, like, actually I'll just show you the implementation memo, because I probably have like so I use Nix because I don't know. Do you know what Nix is? It's like a declarative. It's like if everyone could build their own Linux distribution, basically. I way prefer it over, like, I actually don't like Docker because people use Docker as a way to like standardize their dev environment, and I think that's actually
Right.
like that's like not the way that I would use Docker ever. It's just like a thing you can do.
Yeah.
So I
It's
use
become the
Nix.
go-to for everything now.
Exactly. And I think that's a mistake. So I use Nix to like, Nix is how I declare all of my environment stuff. And this works on Replit. This works on my local machine. I can set up a completely fresh Mac from nothing to completely set
Mhm.
up in about 5 minutes.
Wow.
Cause I have this
Good.
like full Nix setup that like I've adapted over a couple years. But like today I just installed macOS 26 and I'm completely back in my full mode because all I had to do was run a
That's
script and
the
it
scariest
redid
thing for
everything.
me is to like upgrade my computer. It's like
Yeah.
going through that setup. It just takes too long.
Yeah. So because I already know Nix and I like Nix, Nix can actually build me a Docker image. So that's what I already actually implemented that one thing so far. And then the thing we're going to do is we're going to make it so that the first thing it does is builds a container image. Then it's going to launch the container with the image that just built, and it's going to copy the current directory, like the current contents of the directory over.
Okay.
And then are we getting like chat messages? Are we like getting? I'm like ignoring the chat. Sorry. It's okay. I'll check it later. Anyway, so it launches the container thing. I'm gonna I didn't even know that I was gonna do this apparently, but I'm gonna make sure that Claude gets mounted in the right spot so that it has access to my credentials, which is smart. Thank you.
Right.
And then I use Sapling, like I said before. So there's not going to be there's no syncing like between containers.
Mhm.
And the only syncing that exists is read-only syncing to the parent, right?
Okay.
So the idea is that like every time it creates a folder, so you'll like this is going to be the command usage. You're going to be like BFT codebot, and then if you want to like talk about like instead of having to like, go into Claude and be like this is what I want to work on, you can just like put in the thing you're going to do, and then it'll create a folder in your temp directory on your main machine, and then that'll be read only, right? So somehow
Right.
that'll mount read only. Like I don't know if that'll be a Docker thing or if it just does whatever. We'll figure it out. And then there's like a keep option if you want to like make sure that if you have like debugging things or whatever, right?
Right.
And then this does way too much info. I'm gonna have to delete some of this, but the idea though is that like you basically can spin up these containers and then just leave them, right? And you can just be like, go do this. Let me know when you're done. And then the idea is that like I would use something like O3 to evaluate if it did the thing correctly,
Right.
and then like just have this whole kind of virtuous cycle. So my goal at the beginning of every day is not to write a line of code. It's to just like knock out all these implementation memos over and over and over
Right.
and over.
Right.
Because then like
That would be the ideal.
yeah, because if the memos are, and to be clear, I'm still not even writing those, right? Like I'm working with Claude to write these implementation
Right.
memos.
Yeah.
And then like once they get to a place that they're good, it's like, okay, ship off to a like subordinate worker that's going to go do this on this codebot thing, right? So essentially what I'm going to do is my expectation is that I'm going to spin up the codebot and then I'm going to have it do the max context thing that I did a second ago. And then I'm just going to ask like, what are you going to do? And just make sure that it's good to go. And then I'm just going to be like, cool, YOLO, like good luck,
Yeah.
And then have it just check in when it's ready to check in.
Right.
So yeah, that's my plan. I'm like, this is the plan I've been like trying to get to for a while.
Where do you think it's at now in terms of like percentage to MVP?
Like it will be done today. Like it's the thing. It will be done like in like minutes. It's like really close. So, yeah. How do I ban people? I wish I could ban people. Anyway, whatever. My expectation is that we'll have that containerization thing. Like I just installed macOS because I wanted to have it. Actually, like let's see how far along it is. It might actually work now. So let's try it and find out.
Try it live.
Yeah. Where are you? Okay, cool. So I just had to do a quick like internal check really quick, the inconsistency check. And then I'm just going to be like, okay, do you have any questions? And it actually will say no. Like it doesn't actually like try too hard to figure out questions. Like it will be like, I understand everything, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into this back and forth question mode, so it'll be interesting to try it and see.
So these questions I think are starting to get shitty. So I'll just do questions one at a time. And we'll just like see if I hate them or like them.
And what's under your questions one at a time? You have all these rules.
Like it's literally just like a line that's like, ask me questions one at a time. It literally is like nothing. Like I can find it for you. It's on our GitHub, but it's literally just like ask me questions one at a time. Okay.
And I find that, now with trying to optimize, I'm always writing a script for everything, and just even the shortest thing, I make it even shorter because there's just so much more context to provide.
Exactly. I want to mount the containers volume. I just figured this out while we were talking, so I want to actually fix this. I actually want to mount the containers volume as read only on the host. Does that make sense? It didn't even ask me that question, but it sort of did. Yes. And again, like these actually do help.
Mm-hmm.
We already talked about this. We just push from the container. This is in the doc, isn't it? And if this is already in the doc, then I'm just going to be like, let's go.
Have you ever had your agent so hyped and it starts like speaking in like hype language?
Someone showed me a prompt that was like, ask your Claude Code just start like talking like Deadpool or something. That's pretty funny. All right, so the read-only visibility.
There was one time let's see, what's it doing?
It said it actually was like let's go. Like it's like I'm ready. Let's start implementing. What's your plan? I just do this always as the last, like, I just want to make sure.
I usually say, is there anything else?
All right. Let's do it. I'm going to shift tab on. Whoops, I accidentally hit escape. So I've actually stopped asking it to do max subagents on implementation. I've only been doing max subagents on research lately.
You're right. Research is also where it shines.
Yeah. So I think that having it be single-threaded implementing, and like if you have enough containers, like I think the real solve is have a bunch of containers to execute, do like a single-threaded, like I'm gonna build an implementation plan with you on your host machine, and then just shell out to all these like containers when we're ready.
Yes,
like it says it's done already.
If that was working, that would be the way to go. And then they don't run into each other and they could all work.
Yeah.
Once the task have been broken down.
Oh, it got it wrong. It got something wrong. Oh, it didn't make it have the right file extension. It needs the right file extension. A lot of times I'll just let it go and it'll figure it out. But in this case, because we're like trying to do this live.
When do you think we will get to the stage where, you know, even if you went away for a few days, it will still kind of just work on things in your absence?
I'm hoping today, honestly. Like if this works, like we might be there.
Right.
You know, like the manager side of it, the manager side is the next thing to like really unblock. Like, can you get it so that there's another agent code reviewing and then working like back and forth? And I think that's possible. I would say it's plausible. And so like, if I can get this going, I'm pretty confident that like, if this works, I'll be able to just like ship stuff off. And like I have 7 pending projects and I think they'll just happen, you know? And then like, when I come back, it'll be like, I mean, so you worked on Wall Street. Were you were you an engineering manager? Were you nothing related to tech? What was your role?
No, I was mostly just doing private equity and collateral management, but I worked with the engineers as well, and that's kind of how I met, you know, the engineer that I'm working with now. We both went to school together and also worked at the same company and just kind of kept in touch.
Cool. Did you so would you say your background is engineering or your background is not engineering?
So, yeah, my background is engineering, but not computer engineering. My background is mechanical engineering.
Got it. I mean, it's
business and finance,
systems.
So
yeah. Okay. So wait. So was Claude Code like your unlock for software engineering?
No. I've been, you know, coding for, you know, maybe the last 10, 12 years, but, you know, not full-time and not full-time engineering, just like building a feature here and there.
Totally. You were the level of your boss, basically.
Right. So then I started, you know, building a full platform on my last startup. And I was just starting to get to where I can feel like, okay, I'm intermediate and can build everything. And then with this one, I'm using code, you know, and using agents the entire time outside of the like immediate, you know, the first few things, all of the networking and access and getting all the, you know, environment set up.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff that I was doing, so my story is totally weird. I was a journalist who learned to code, and then I worked at YC as a V guy, and then I started a startup, and then I got acquired by Facebook. So I worked at Facebook for 5 years. Anyway, it's a weird story. At Facebook, I was an engineering manager, a software engineer, and a tech lead. I had done all those jobs.
Right.
And the thing that feels like, it just feels like everyone will be a tech lead. Like,
right.
A tech lead's job is basically to like review people's work and like implementation plans and stuff. And that's just like, it feels like that's just what we're getting to, is like everyone's a tech lead, you know? And like you're just gonna like let your thing go, and then you're gonna come back and make sure that it did the thing you expected, you know?
Yeah. And if you're not doing that, you have to ask yourself what you're doing wrong.
Exactly. So that worked. It's building the container image right now. So let's see what happens with my YOLOing. Looks like it built a Docker container. Can you like see what it's doing if you do Control R? Not really. All right.
You can, but it doesn't load well. That's the thing.
Yeah. I wish that I could see more, but that's okay.
Same here. I think you can come in, and it doesn't even work with this the verbose mode. But you have to do it before you even come into this the chat.
All right, so this is going. I'll just let it going for a sec. I mean, it's building a container, so that's good news. That's the normal thing that I expected. Oh, it needs to do run shell command with output, which it will do in just a second. Yep, figured it out. Good job. So I'm hoping that once the build goes once and it's successful, that it'll just like go so fast. That's my hope and
From
dream.
there. Yeah.
We'll see. Because if I can get seriously like a 1 second startup, it'd be so nice to just be like, okay, go do this thing. Or like BFT CodeBot, like path to file.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like good luck.
That's what it should be. And then you can just work on different ideas, just throw away ideas. Just go do this thing.
Exactly.
Okay. And you only have to worry about now just getting customers and talking to other apps.
Exactly.
That's kind of where we're going, where everyone kind of has their own app and they build their own app, and then you talk to other people's app, and even the idea of app is going to at some point go away, and it's just agents talking to
Exactly.
agents.
Oh, I tried to do Docker push. All right, good luck. Where is it pushing it? I should probably ask that question, but I don't want to interrupt.
Right. That's the other thing that I face. You always worry about interrupting it, and then
Yeah.
it goes in a different direction the moment you
But
interrupt it.
it's like when you tap a developer on the shoulder and they like
Mhm.
and you like interrupt them and then they like lose all their context. It's the exact same thing.
Right. They definitely need to work on that, because it would be good to be able to interrupt it and not lose.
The flow. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's an overcomable problem, to be honest. It's just because there's too much randomness
Right. Right.
in the
Right.
because it's like if you're completing tokens, you can't just be like, okay, remember how you were completing those tokens a second ago? Keep doing it that
Right.
way. You know, like oh no, this is some like POSIX issue. Okay. Oh, so why is it using the Docker repo? We could use the GitHub one or just a local file. Help me understand. Oh, it's not started. Yeah, let's make sure the container system is started.
Yeah. You could implement that what we just discussed, because it's really just a human problem of processing, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
can process so much faster. So just like how eventually with email they implemented a delay so you can recall the email, you
Mm-hmm.
could do something like that where they're always ahead in context and outputting a 15-second delay or 20-second delay. So then if you interrupt it, it would have that already
Interesting. Yeah,
forward context that it could always go back to.
that's really interesting. That's a good idea. Right. You can do it. When we know it'll be good is when I can stop doing request approval because I'll trust it.
Right. I also think you need to set up the container and just let it go wild.
Yeah, like I mean, once it's like good to go, then I will totally do
Once
that.
you have it in a box, then you just feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Right now, I just worry that I need to get a separate computer, because I see what it's doing on the screen, but it could be selling everything I own behind my back, and I don't know.
Totally. I mean, I have those other two Mac Studios, and I'm telling you, I'm just gonna like, they're just gonna be my like coders. Like, I'm just gonna have them do stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe we need to extract the tar. That's a really big leap to take. I'm not sure that's the right approach. Can you go fetch apples container docs again and compare it with the BFT script.
This apple container is interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, man, we've been on for a while. I don't know if you have other things to do. We can just like leave it here, or you
Yeah.
can watch me vibe code. But
I want to see a little bit of where it builds this container.
all right, let's see if it makes it. We'll see. That'll be
Yeah,
we'll see if it makes it through this step, and then we'll call it.
Yeah. It
All
seems
right.
like it's so close, but it might
Yeah,
not get caught.
I'm pretty sure it's just like a confusion. Let's see. Oh yeah, it was trying to do a Docker thing. Oh, it's the Nix file store. Damn me. Yeah, I can see that being a problem. All right, good luck. I believe in you. I always like cheer on my assistants and my agents. I'm
You
also like, you
have
can
to.
do it. I believe in you. Because
No,
if it's gonna constantly be like, that's a brilliant idea, I'm like, I'm gonna give you positive feedback too.
you have to. They really respond like a human. We're programming them to be too much of a human, and it's weird, but
I don't
it
know.
also
I think
works.
it's
It
training
also
people to
works.
be nice by giving them a positive feedback loop with a computer doesn't seem like necessarily a bad thing for the world.
No, it's not, and it will definitely make people nicer.
Yeah. If you want your computer to work, you have to be nice to it. I
Right?
like that idea.
I wouldn't be surprised if people were easy. It's easier for them to be nice to computers than nice to other humans. They're like, you know what? I can do this. I don't mind.
'Cause I'm faking it. I can fake it with a computer, but I can't fake it with a
Right.
person. Like, save the file in folder, blah. Yeah, you can't save it in the Nix store. That's fine. Yeah, we don't want it to go to the Docker registry. If we need a container registry, we can use the GitHub one.
You see, this is a good interaction. It shows that you have a lot of good memos on the back end.
Yeah. It's like by having all the memos, it just like saves you just a shit ton of time. It's like so much easier. I can't even tell you.
Yeah, I could tell just by watching you vibe code. I can tell there's a lot that works in the back end.
The funny thing is, like, so I built my own database like 3 years ago because I was annoyed because I'm Randall. And
You're always building your own everything, custom everything.
the only way that I could build it was when GPT-3 came out. Because I used GPT-3 in the playground mode to like dig into how TypeScript worked, because I didn't even know anything about TypeScript, and I wanted it to be type safe. And then when Copilot came out, I was able to actually do a lot more of the work. So it's almost like everything that I've done in my entire app from like 3 years ago is all
Mhm.
because of large language models. Like it's like
Right.
the first
Right.
line of code I wrote was with a large language model, you know?
Right.
All right. Let's see. So let's try downloading the container binary outside of Nix for now. Let's just download it to temp and try to run it and see if we have the same issue. No, I don't want to do that. Sorry. I think the issue is because we installed the container binary with Nix. Try doing which Nix if we put a binary that we pull from GitHub releases in temp, I think it might fix it. So Andrew Denta from our group, he
Right.
always does Super Whisper, which is this like voice or text to speech thing,
Yeah.
speech to text thing.
Yeah.
And I hate talking to my computer. I want to write with my fingers because like I don't know why. I just
You're a journalist, so like it's there's
I
got to
get
be you have to be
I
wired
was
that way.
but I was on the radio and TV. Like it wasn't like I was like a print journalist. And
Right.
I just
That's
prefer
true. So you must
I
be
just
you must have been using talk. You should be more used to talk.
yeah, but I just prefer like it's like I think better when I'm not speaking out loud. You
Yeah.
know, like it's almost like the interaction of saying things is extra cognitive load that I don't want to spend. You know, I don't know.
It takes getting used to it. I use Mac Whisper. I just started using it probably
Hmm.
2 weeks ago. And initially it was, I seem to have a block just using my voice, and it wouldn't understand me. I would just like ramble things. And then slowly I now think or speak like I type. I mean, I have enough pause in there to like think. When you're typing, you go fast and then you pause and think and then you go fast again. So I'm kind of creating that same rhythm. And also, I think the Mark Whisper is also learning. There's like a local model that's learning how to like deliver for you, and it seems to be getting better. I haven't looked into
Yeah.
all of the local transcript saving that it does, but it seemed to move better. It seemed to like correct me better.
Yeah.
And I still go to typing sometimes, especially if I go away for a while, because I would only use voice when I'm at my main computer. And
Yeah.
when I come back, I have to like relearn it. But I've gotten pretty good at just talking from my main computer to coding and everything.
That feels like such Star Trek. You know, it's like you're Geordie
Yeah,
LaForge
it
building a
does.
holodeck program or something.
It does. And especially when you're like trying to give it code, you gotta like slash this, dash that, underscore.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, it's trying to figure out how to extract the thing. Oh my gosh, can you just like do something, please? Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna open it myself.
There's on YouTube now, people are kind of like they come and they kind of give an idea of like what they're working on. But do you think at some point it would be full on, vibe coding entertainment? Like, how people watch people play video game. For
Dude,
me growing up, you would watch YouTube to learn how to do a certain move or unlock a certain stock that you're stuck somewhere, you want to find out how to like beat it, and you just
yeah,
do it for that part. But now I see these kids like they watch like 2 hours of straight somebody else playing the video game. They're not even trying to
yeah.
figure out how
I
to
mean,
play.
I'm live on Twitch right now, so who knows, right? We have like
Right,
60 people watching, so
right.
All right, let's see. Where did I get to? What are you trying to do? Can you just put it in /temp instead of /temp? Ta-da! I helped.
Right.
Occasionally, it's nice to feel needed.
Right. Eventually, we won't be.
All right, so it's gonna use the code bot. It's gonna use this container that I just extracted, or told it how to extract, rather. Let's see what happens. Yes, you do. Thank you for being smart. I will allow you to edit your own code. Good luck. Oh, good. It made a variable. That's good. All right, here goes. This feels like I just started Skynet. I just started something that opens other AIs to open other AIs to open other AIs.
Yeah, it's like there's always something new.
Yeah.
That's the exciting part of it. It's just all like just
People are scared. People are scared by the speed. This is like how fast I've always wanted to move, always, and like I've always been limited by other people.
Yeah, yes, and you know that's the ultimate unlock is just the rate that things are moving now is unbelievable.
But it's just like it goes as fast as you're able to go instead of having to like convince people to do stuff or whatever. Why is it trying to access Docker? Why is can you make it push to GitHub? Because it really seems committed to having a container registry. The container system really wants a container registry. You're absolutely right. Thank you, Claude.
You know what I would like to see sometime is like, and I've seen glimpses of it, but not like full force, where it literally just argues with you and says, "No, this is the way it should be done." You know?
Also, do you know what? Have you heard of chain of command? OpenAI model spec. I go to this like every day because no one's ever heard of it, and I'm like teaching people every day.
Yeah, I've not heard of it.
So this is chain of command. The idea is that like there's 5 levels of authority, well 6 kind of, and each level of authority is like able to like set the authority for it below. So the platform is like, don't make bombs or like whatever. The developers like always talk like a pirate, and then the users like never talk like a pirate, and so the user loses, right? And if the developers like only tell people how to make bombs, it like loses, right? So like the idea is that like each level is overridable by is not overridable by the level below it, right? So there's this other one though that's weird, which is a guideline. Well, there's guideline and then there's untrusted, which I don't even know how you I don't even think they talk about untrusted, but when you get to guideline, basically a guideline is like you probably shouldn't swear, right? And then like if you're writing a book and you're like, I need to have dialogue where the character swears, it's like, okay, like you're allowed to override that because like who cares, right? So this, the reason why Anthropic terrifies me is because the number of rules that you put in the platform, the crazier the AI is going to act, you know? So it's like, if you're like, oh, I need to like run a security audit of my computer. Like Claude Code explicitly doesn't let you do that. Like,
Right.
there's like a system prompt thing that's like, don't allow people to run nmap or something. I
Right.
don't even know if it's nmap,
Exactly.
but like I hate that, right? And like
I same here. There's
just for
that's the thing about AI, and eventually, everyone needs their own local model. It's because of all
exactly.
the guardrail. There are certain things you want to do, and it's just like, no, you can't do that. You know,
Yeah, it's just like
and
it's
I'm
this
like,
total freedom thing.
I want to experiment and see what that does. I will learn something from it. Maybe I won't go doing it, but and the other thing I'm thinking of, my son's like, I want to be a hacker. You think of many of these hackers that end up building good software, white hat, whatever. But I'm like, you can't be a hacker. You can't vibe code your way into hacking because it's just not going to even try.
I know it'll just be like it'll beef with you the whole time.
Yeah, like, oh, that's just not ethical. I'm like, yeah, but sometimes we solve problems by experimenting with somewhat
Exactly.
unethical thing. But now you
That's I
can't.
think that I wrote a tweet about this today that like so Mike Krieger is the Instagram founder that works at Anthropic, and like the reason why Claude Code and Anthropic's products are generally good, I think, is because why do I have to have Docker installed? Oh my gosh. Okay, good. Thank you. I was like, I don't want to. The whole reason why I'm using this is to not use Docker. Um, okay, so Mike Krieger is the Instagram co-founder who runs product at Anthropic, and I just think the world would be better off if he worked at OpenAI because his products are so much better and his product sense is
Right,
so much better. But
right,
like Anthropic is so weirdly paternalistic that like ultimately the products are going to get limited because of Anthropic's approach.
correct,
And
correct.
that's what like drives me crazy is it's like I don't
Well,
want to
that's
have
what
to
created Anthropic, right? The disagreement, the fundamental
exactly.
disagreement with how open this thing should be, or
Yeah,
how wild should it be.
and I think that's like the like I don't know, it's like the worst thing to happen to the world is like, you know, people who think, "Oh, well, I can be the dictator because I'm a good dictator." And it's
Right,
like, no,
right,
you just want everyone to be like everyone should have to be good or else they should get penalized. Not because it's not because people won't be good inherently, but just because that's market economics. Like it works better,
right,
you know?
right.
So all right,
Yeah,
come
and
on.
even
What
from
is
an innovative standpoint, it's like there has to be some level of experimentation.
this? Let's test with Scopio. What is Scopio? I want to know. Is that like a thing? Oh, it's like something I've never heard of. All right, cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
this is where it sends me down a rabbit hole where it suggests something, and now I'm spending all this time learning
yeah,
about this thing.
it's fine. I'm just gonna, yeah, just pull. We'll start there and then reverse into it. But even if this works, even if I can just get this to work in a way that's like reasonable and it starts Claude Code,
Right,
then to get it to work with my local thing is like not going to be that much different. It's just going to be like, okay, now I have to like do one more thing and then it should work.
right.
Computer's going to die. I like this new alert they do for your computer's going to die though. It's pretty cool looking. All right.
This is on the new OS.
Yeah. It's a lot prettier than it used to be. Like I thought the glass was gonna suck, and everyone was like whining about it. It's actually like pretty
Mhm.
cool. So that was a surprise. See if I can
Yeah,
get
but
back
I'm
over to
gonna
my
be using that.
favorite chair. Oh, can't quite make it to my chair. Oh well. So it looks like we got in.
Okay, looks like it's in now.
Yeah. All right. So on next time's show, I'm gonna finish this.
All right, this is so
Um,
cool.
we're gonna get there though, and like I think if you do the So the like message that I would leave is that if you do the sorry, this is like the worst lighting ever. I'm such a video guy. If you do the implementation memo first,
Right.
the title, I just got a notice from Claude, and the title is "Dumb Thing." Because I said just do the dumbest thing. Okay, so yeah, the point is my homework for you, Truth. Let's hang out when I get back to New York. Come hang out at my office. It's in like Chelsea-ish. Actually, I think it's proper Chelsea. I don't know, whatever. It's down there. So you're gonna hang out at my office, which will be cool. You're gonna do implementation memos, which I think will, if you can have it not jump to code until you agree with the implementation memo, I think that you'll hit your goal of YOLO one shots. And if you do that plus, so the ways to get there are start the context with questions one at a time, have it write the memo, ask if the memo is internally consistent to make sure that it agrees with itself, and then ask Claude what questions it has. And then what I've been doing is I've been compacting the context and then doing that like 3 or 4 times. I think you could clear it. I'm not sure which one's better.
3 or 4 times, meaning you repeat that step over again.
Yeah, like until it stops asking me, if it keeps asking me the same questions that are obviously answerable, then I'm like, okay, it's good enough. Like I feel like it's gonna figure it out. If it asks me new questions, then I'm like, okay, it's probably not good enough yet. Like it needs to get like closer, you know?
Yeah. So it's inconsistency, the memo. What's the third thing? There was one more thing.
So
does he have any other question?
Yeah, so questions one at a time to start working on stuff. Build the implementation memo, then inconsistency, then do you have any questions about it? And it'll dump the 5 questions, then questions one at a time again to like answer them.
Yeah. I'm going to try it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll get there. I mean, I think honestly, I'm not convinced. I'm pretty sure that it'll get there. Like if I can get this container thing to work, which technically I shouldn't work on anymore because it's like 5:30. I should probably go like hang out with my family. But if I can get this container thing to work, I think it'll just like be escape velocity for vibe coding. I think it'll just be like the thing. So
no, and I mean it's going to take off because vibe coding right now. I mean we're really vibe coding, and everybody else is just like toying around. And I know because my kids vibe code with Lovable, and it's a toy,
Yeah, it's so lame. It's like this is like I loved working at Facebook because the internal tooling was so good, and you could build things at scale. You could do all this stuff. I want that same experience with just my best friends. There's 5 of us, and I want to build a company with my best friends that does Facebook scale stuff. It's my dream.
That's awesome. Definitely.
All right, cool, man. Well, thanks for coming out. We're gonna make some clips. I don't know. Tell your friends. Go get people to subscribe, whatever, and post it on LinkedIn. Whatever you got to do. If you're watching this and you don't know who we are, contexteng.ai. Go hang out and see you next time.
See you next time. Take